How do you make ad creative that converts? Today, I'm going to be going behind the scenes and revealing it all. I'm Alex Cooper, co-founder of Adcrate, a creative agency that produces direct response ads on performance. And today I'm going to show you our exact A to Z playbook for creating UGC style content. This is my first video on YouTube, so if you want to see more content on direct response advertising, then subscribe and hit the bell below, and let's get into it. So there are 4 components to this process. You've got sourcing, script writing, shooting, and finally editing. And you need all 4 dialed in to make great UGC ads. Now there are a ton of different platforms that you can find creators on, but I found the most success when we find the creators on the platform that we are getting content for. For example, if you're looking for content for Meta, find them on Instagram. If you're looking for content on TikTok, find them on TikTok. Use hashtags and niche references to find the people in your industry. And then if you're on Instagram, you can click the little triangle and see similar accounts. We've found tons of great creators by doing this. We've also found a lot of good creators through Backstage, although you have to be aware because sometimes it's going to be hit and miss because there's a lot of actors on there who aren't used to filming themselves, so they might need a little bit more direction when you're working with them. There are a ton of UGC creators on Twitter, and even though the vast majority of them I don't think are that good, we have found some very good ones on there too. I also like to search, like if I'm looking for UK creators, just like UK UGC creators in the search bar, and then look for a couple of tweets asking for UGC creators in the UK, and usually get a load of replies and you can filter through their portfolios. You have also got paid platforms like B-Roll and Collabza and hundreds of others, but I haven't really found very good results through there. I find that at the prices that they charge, they just don't have the margin to be able to attract and maintain top talent. So I don't know, I've tried a bunch of them and we've not had any good results. Second part of the process is script writing. So the way that we approach this as a team is every time that someone comes on board, we will sit down as a team and do a massive brainstorm session where we talk about hooks, concepts, ideas for how we're going to go about marketing this product. And the way that I like to think about it is if production and budget was no limit, what is some of the craziest ideas that we can come up with? Because a lot of times to me, a lot of brands' content feels very formulaic. So by doing this, you can have a massive list to pick from. I'm not saying that every concept has to be crazy idea, but just by having that list drafted out, then you can go about which one you want to actually turn into an ad. And like I said, we're not just doing this for angles, we're also doing this for hooks and visuals, which is equally as important. Because remember, when people are scrolling through social media, they are not there to watch your ads. They're there to see cat memes, they're there to see funny videos, they're there to catch up with family and friends. Every day, the average person scrolls the height of the Statue of Liberty just in ads. They do not care about your product. Don't lead with your brand, lead with your products, and more importantly, lead with what it can do for them. Because that is the only way you're going to get and keep their attention. Some of the most effective hooks that I've come across have been satisfying and or unique visuals and direct call outs. And if you can combine the both, you have an incredibly powerful hook. Just imagine you have a weird or funny looking visual related to a problem that you know you have, and then you combine that with a direct call out. If that is related to a problem that you have, you're going to stop and watch no matter what. And that's the idea. You want to make hooks that people feel compelled to watch. They can't do anything but continue watching. At the end of the day, it's not the goal of the hook to sell you on the product, it's to grab your attention, and then the rest of the video sells you on the product. And when you go and turn these hooks into fully developed concepts, one thing to consider is that think about the ads that have got you to convert. Or if they've not got you to convert, they've at least got you to click through to the landing page. They don't get you to take action because they have a TikTok hook or because they don't look like ads. The reason they've got you to take action is because they've conveyed the value props of the product that relates to a problem that you are facing. You click through because they provide a solution to your problem. Don't get me wrong, producing ads that don't look like ads will get you to the dance. But remember, the 80-20 is in conveying the value props and the USPs of your product. The third step of the process is shooting. And we can talk about lighting, we can talk about framing, camera settings, all that stuff. But that's for the creators. So if you have a team of creators that you're working with, I would highly recommend downloading the Adcrate creator guide in the description below, sending it on to them. That basically gives you all of the best practice, all the settings that we use when our creators are shooting for optimal output for our ads. And finally, let's talk about editing, the final step of the process. Now, if you look at all of the big brands spending on paid social, what do they have in common? A lot of them are editing their videos in a Mr. Beast style. So what does that mean? It means quick cuts, it means transitions, it means SFX, emojis, zooms. Every 1 to 2 seconds of the video, every heartbeat, you have something different happening. Just something to keep the viewers engaged. And if that sounds like it's too quick, yes, it is. I should be able to watch your ad in isolation and feel that it's too quick. Because if in isolation it's too quick, it's gonna fit right into the feed where everything is quick, everything's going 100 miles an hour, and people don't wanna watch the ad. But it's important to remember, different styles will work best for different audiences. So I can sit here and say, use the Mr. Beast method, or use this style, use that style. At the end of the day, what you wanna think about is not what is the best style and like this text style or this font or this whatever works for every single video, but more so you wanna think from the perspective of, okay, who really is my customer and what other content are they already seeing on their feed? Because as you can imagine, the feed of a 25-year-old female is going to be very different to the feed of a 60-year-old male. So whereas in the female's case, you might want to include some more attention hacking, some quick cuts, some zooms, etc., because that's going to fit right into what she's already seeing. The 60-year-old male might be used to some slower, more drawn out, sometimes longer content. So if you use a Mr. Beast style video in his feed, he's probably just going to get overwhelmed and scroll straight past it. So it's not what is the best practice or what is the best way to go about it. It's who is my audience? What else are they seeing in their feed? And then how can I create an experience such that they can blend in to stand out? And one point I want to quickly make about text styles, because this is something that a lot of brands and creators get wrong. There are 2 different ways you can go about text styles. You can either try to replicate the native TikTok and Instagram font, or you can choose not to. Either way can work if done correctly. But what I will say is that if you are going for the native TikTok or Instagram style, you have to lean all the way in. There have been so many videos that I've seen from agencies, brands, creators where they've tried to emulate a TikTok and Instagram style, but they have made a tiny mistake. Something like having the words appear one by one instead of appearing in a block, or having all the words on the top line and then only one word on the bottom line. Like these subtle differences that you would not get on the IG and TikTok feed. And the reason for that is if your viewer notices the slightest thing that's off, maybe not consciously, but subconsciously, and they think, oh, that's something that I haven't seen before, that's something that I'm not used to, you're gonna trigger their sales resistance and they're gonna be more likely to keep on scrolling. And that's not to say that the native Instagram and TikTok style is better or worse than not doing that style, but it is to say that if you are doing that style, you have to really lean in and make sure that it is absolutely the same as what you would get on Instagram and TikTok to pull it off. And that is our process. So if you executed on all 4 of these properly, then you should have a pretty tight ad. And if you don't, then the data will tell you, and then you can troubleshoot and find out which stage of the process needs to be improved. So thank you for watching this. As I said, this is my first video, so let me know what you want to see more of in the comments down below. I've also left a ton of resources in the description that I've mentioned in this video. So yeah, please subscribe, click the bell, and I'll see you in the next video.